I think part of the core of our faith is a belief in a God who heals, a belief in a God who wants us to live and to live abundantly. And we see, of course, in the life of Jesus, the response of compassion to people's suffering. I think that vaccination has played an important role, and over a very long time. If you think it's not that long ago that there was no vaccine for polio, and the kind of suffering that meant, and so getting the vaccine was transformative, and we know that it's a norm that we vaccinate our children when they're very tiny, and that prevents them from getting a range of terrible conditions. I think it's understandable when a pandemic happens and the vaccine happens very quickly, that people have these questions. I think the questions are understandable, and which is why it's important that we learn as much about the science behind it. But we also want to say, as people of faith, that faith and science are not on opposite sides. That the scientists are doing God's work of healing. And I think we need to be assured that they have done it very carefully. And while in this particular case it's happened over a very short period of time, because of the amount of money that's been put into it, there have been the checks and balances have also been put in place. And in the case of the vaccines for COVID-19, we've benefited from some of the work that was already done in relation to Asian flu, these different kinds of SARS that has happened before. So myself, I was very clear that I would be vaccinated, because I believe in vaccinations in the sense that they are of God, just as much as my life of prayer is of God. So of course, when I go to vaccinate, I pray at the same time and ask God to be with me, as when I go to hospital for operations, and of which I've had many. I pray that the surgeon will do the best they can, that the nurses and those who care for me, I see them all part of, if you like, God's team, as the God of everything, the God of creation. So I would want to encourage people, and I think it's important. We say is perhaps all the great faiths. We talk about loving God and loving our neighbor, and I think that going for vaccination is about loving oneself in a healthy way. But it's also about loving one's neighbor. It's about protecting each other so that we can be protected and live healthy lives. Now, of course, there are some people who get sick, but that's true no matter what. But the percentage of those who get sick because of the vaccine is minute. Say there's 1 in a million who get sick, but there's 999,999 who are okay. But that's also always been true of any medication. If you go to the pharmacy and you get medication, if you read the instructions, they'll say a percentage of people will have side effects, and this is what you need to do. So that is nothing new. That if you like, goes with the territory. But I think some of the fake news is ungodly in the sense that it is leading people astray, it's leading people to believe lies that is not helpful, which is why I think we need to always trust the World Health Organization, trust the health professionals who are scientifically informed and can help us with accurate information. And we as faith leaders want to encourage all the people of faith to follow the science and see that the science itself is of God.